Okay, I have a question for the flat earthers. Because, I think I've solved the whole question. Because, flat earthers are saying that the earth is flat, right? But it's actually round, and here's how you prove it. So, here, you got this globe. Pretend that it's the earth, okay? Pretend that this globe is the earth, right? If you zoom in on this clearly round structure, look, what does it become? It becomes flat. Look, you zoom in here, it becomes flat, it becomes a straight line. See? Well, it's almost a straight line. But if I were able to zoom in closer, it would become even straighter. When you zoom out, it's round. Then you zoom in, it's straight. Then flat earthers will look at this and say, "Oh no, the Earth is flat." If because all you're seeing flat earthers, the earthers are only seeing this one, right? Because the vision only goes that far or something. I'm not sure how it goes, but excuse me, but the flat earthers, they're only seeing that much, and they think that the Earth is flat just because. Okay, if the Earth is flat, right? Then how come someone who is in Australia can't see New York City in America? Hmm? Did you think of that? If the Earth is flat, where is the core? If the Earth is flat, explain gravity. You didn't think of that, did you? Also, if the Earth is flat, then why is everything else in the whole solar system a circle? Hmm? Hmm? If the Earth itself is flat, how do you explain the dinosaur extinction? Because we find fossils, meaning that the impact came and hit collided and is spread around. If it was just a plain disk and it hit this side with that much impact, it would have just tilted it to this angle. And all the dinosaurs would have gone off and died in the space. But because we see them on Earth, that means that they didn't get flung off. They got hit and the impact pushed them to the ground. And even so, if the Earth was flat like this, how do you explain it spinning? How do you explain night and day? Because I've heard some people say that it's just like this, right? The Earth is like a flat circle, no, not a sphere. It's just a flat circle, protected by ice barriers, with all the continents inside, and then the sun and the moon over here rotating round and round. How do you explain the fact that these people over here see daytime, but these people over here can't see the daytime? How do you explain it that these people over here cannot see the moon, but the people here can see the moon? Hmm? How do you explain the fact that the Earth doesn't immediately, get crushed because it has no gravitational pull because it's not a sphere? So it's either gonna get crushed by gravity or just go sailing out. Do you remember that one asteroid that Stannis find that was like a disc? If the Earth was like that, there's a probably chance that it'll just go flying. The gravitational pull of the sun would be strong enough that the Earth would just be spinning closer and closer until it got destroyed. Or it would have just been spinning closer and closer until it got further and further and just flung out into space. Because it's like a frisbee at that point. If the Earth is indeed flat, then what's on the other side? If the Okay, right, this is getting costed. Uh, if this is the Earth and it's just flat like that, and and this is what it looks like from the top, right? Right. If this is what it looks like from the top, and that's what it looks like from the side, then what's underneath? What's underneath the Earth then? What's underneath? Because apparently they're not saying what's underneath; they're just saying what's on top, right? Because we need to know if the Earth is indeed flat, then how come we see all these? How come none of us can see Antarctica without going there? Hmm? And you can't say that it's protected by government and NASA, Because what does NASA and the government have to do with Antarctica? It's just ice. Just ice. They're only studying it to see how they can save the Earth from global warming or to see there's anything special there. But it's just ice. What important, valuable things could they be hiding? Hmm? These flat earther things that the military has enough money to build a whole ice wall around the whole entire Earth. And if you go to this end, it's like Pac-Man and you just respawn on this side. We do we haven't even created robots yet. We haven't even created robots that actually function properly. How do we even manage to make something like that? Hmm? Look, if the Earth is flat and just pretend that this badly drawn Earth is the Earth, if this is the Earth, then what's underneath? Rocks? And if there is rocks underneath, where is the core? Because the core can't just be out there, it would freeze. The cold temperatures of space would instantly freeze it, causing the Earth to stop spinning. That brings me another question. How does the Earth spin if it was flat? If it was flat, it would be spinning, it won't be spinning like the Earth does now, where the Earth is spinning that way, like that way or something, like its axis. It's spinning that way on its axis. If the Earth is flat, it doesn't have an axis. Unless you call that an axis. Then if that's an axis, how does it spin? That way? And if it spins that way, then what happened to the sun and the moon? Do they just stay in place? If they stay in place, how come the sun hasn't just destroyed the moon? And if you say that there's a dome over the earth, how come the sun hasn't just crashed into the dome? How come there are aeroplanes? Don't you think that if there was a dome of some sort, the airplanes would have crashed into it? Or if the dome you were saying is bigger than the height, if you're saying that the dome is bigger than the altitude that a plane can fly at, then how do you explain rockets? People have been to space, they've seen it. How do you explain them breaking the barrier? Hmm? Explain that. Explain.